Welcome to Online Marketing That Makes Sense. I'm your host today, Patrick O'Brien, and this is a marketing podcast packed with social media strategies, productivity tips, traffic growth hacks, marketing truths, and inspirational stories that will help you design your dream business to impact more of the people you feel called to serve. Whether you're a dreamer, have a side hustle, or are looking to take your business to the next level, you're in the right place. Tune in and get inspired. All right, my friends. Today I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that online marketers do, especially when it comes to wanting to grow their audience or get discovered by more people, especially in between launches if they're doing special promotions for memberships and courses and products or books or services, right? We want to grow our audience so we have new people to pitch our offers to. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see most people making is they're not creating enough variety of content and they're not experimenting with those different pieces of content. You see, what might happen is you get stuck in a rut and you begin to create a particular type of content that your audience may or may not have started to react to. That might be just images, and you create multiple images. Or maybe you're just creating videos, short form videos, faceless videos if you're on Instagram, shorter blog posts, what have you. There's different types of obviously content that we can create, but what will happen, and this is a mistake, is that we get stuck in just creating one type of content all the time. In fact, the best type of content to create is diversity alone. And what I mean by that is you want to have multiple different forms to share the same messaging on. So if you have a specific message or thing or call to action you're trying to put out into the world, you want to have that in the form of your image. You want to have that in the form of an image that's like a movie, like a still image that's zooming in and out. You can have a video that's saying the same thing as those images are saying. Either the text appears on the screen, or you're speaking into the camera, or you just have some sort of B-roll playing on the background, and then that text shows up on the screen with some other kind of B-roll, meaning you're doing something in the background and the text just shows. You can have long form or short form type videos when you do that. You can have audio, meaning you can tell the audience what you want them to know, right, in that messaging, while there's some other video playing in the background. A lot of this is different stuff we can do on platforms like Instagram, but we can incorporate them to some degree inside of Facebook as well. But the biggest mistake that most online marketers and business owners do when they go online is they don't create enough diversity. If you're wanting to actually find new people, you have to learn how to say the same thing you're saying, but in different ways, and present it in different ways. You still want to keep true to your main messaging, your main vision, and you're wanting to still attract the right ideal customer, right? If you're selling, health related stuff, if you're into the health, the health and fitness world, and that's your niche, you don't want to talk about dogs and cats and things that are good for pets, right? You want to still stay targeted on your target audience, your ideal customer. However, you might have to start creating more of diversity so that different type of people who consume content differently will start to be attracted to what you're showing, right? See, to you feel like you're saying the same thing over and over and over again in multiple ways, and people are going to be, so bombarded with all of that, they're not going to want to listen, or they're going to be discouraged. But here's the thing. When it comes to the internet, there's a couple things we need to pay attention to. One is that when you put stuff out on social media or online in general, only anywhere from like 5 to 10% of the people that have hit that subscribe button or follow button are actually going to see that post. So you could post 5 different variations of the same message, right? 5 different variations of content, and your audience might only see one of them. They might see 2. But the reality is, if the rare occasion happens that one of them sees all of them, well, you're either creating a more diehard fan, or you're going to repel them, and they were never going to be buyers anyway. They were never going to be people you could help anyway. So we don't want to create a business plan or a publishing plan for our online content because we're afraid of the 1% of the people. right? We want to do what's best for the most people and gets the most return on our time, our investment, and our energy. And so the best way to do that is, again, create multiple forms of content that have the same messaging. Because some people, when they're scrolling on social media, they might just want to listen to a video. Maybe they're driving and they want to hear something. So you have an audio form, a short podcast or something where they can hear what you're trying to put out there, because they're wanting something hands off, right? Some people like to watch on the screen, see text, see slides, see, examples. And some people like to just read. They don't like a lot of noise. Their life is noisy enough. They just want to get there and quiet. Or maybe they're sitting somewhere where they can't hear something and they just want to read because they can't make a lot of noise. They just want to read what they're seeing. And so when you offer your message, you offer your content in various forms, you're going to attract different people who like to consume content in those other forms. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're only producing a particular type of content, whether that's just images or just videos, you might be missing out on an entire new area of your ideal customers. You're not attracting different people that won't buy from you. You're still attracting the same ideal customer, but you're now doing it in such a way where you can find them because they're going to want to consume that particular type of content. Now, of course, when it comes to creating your content, we have to remember when we put content out there, we have to have a purpose for it. We don't want to just post things for the sake of posting. We want to have a call to action. We want to have the person in mind that we're trying to reach. Who are we trying to grab with our content? Who are we trying to bring into our world so that we can help to educate them, impact them, serve them, and help them go from where they are to where they want to be? So it's important to have a map that you have for your messaging on the type of people you're trying to reach. Now, my advice to you is to take and recycle the content you already have. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Chances are you already have a ton of content. You're sitting on months and months and months of content that you can just recycle and repurpose today and schedule that on your social media platforms. So often we get stuck on this content hamster wheel where we think we have to recreate stuff all the time because, we just posted that. In reality, anybody who's growing on social media is recycling previously used content. You want to leave somewhat of a gap, maybe a month, maybe in some cases 2 months, depending on how many views your content's getting. But find a post that did really well and reshare it over and over again. You can add a new twist to it if you need to, but reshare it, recycle your content. Go through your different blogs, your different articles that you've written in the past, your other posts that have done really well, and turn some of them into videos, some audio clips, and start using your content in multiple different ways. And you'll be surprised too, because this is what's going to happen. When you start to take what you already have and the content that you create from now on, okay, is you are going to give the algorithm to the different platforms what they want. So when you create more content, the platform's loving it because more people are going to have opportunities to engage on your page. So instead of just sharing one image quote or one image graphic on your social media platform once or twice a day or once or twice a week, take that same messaging and create different types of content. Like we said in the beginning, right? Like a still video with an image. You could have a B-roll playing in the background, like on a reel on video, and have that text show up on that video. Okay. The reality is you're creating opportunities for people to get on your page and stay on the platform. And the more your content keeps people on your page, the more the algorithm will show people your page. And the more you keep people on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever various platform you're producing content on, the more you keep people on that platform, the more the algorithm is going to favor your content to your viewers and share it to people who aren't yet followers. So this is super beneficial if you're trying to grow your audience and really maybe you're in a rut, you're nothing is working. Well, it's time to do something different. Right? We know the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. If you've been doing the same thing over and over again with your content creation, it's time to do something different. It's time to do something different to get a different outcome. You can't keep doing the same type of content posts and image posts or reel posts all the time if you're getting stumped. Now, we could dive deeper into this too, in the sense of what types of videos or short form videos or reels that you're doing as well. You want to create diversity in that. There are all kinds of different ways and resources and features on like Instagram where you can create different types of videos and different apps that you can use. So get resourceful and learn a few different new ways of producing your content so that you can start to grow your audience, because what we always want to be focusing on is growing our audience. And between our launches, we need to be growing our audience so that we can begin to nurture new people, and we can begin to coach them into and guide them into the offer that we have later on. All right, that's going to be a short episode today, but this is something that all of us need to be doing in our content, in our content creation, in our online marketing, is try to do some things that are different, switch things up and experiment, see what works, what doesn't. And remember, it might seem imperfect when you get started with this. It might seem uncomfortable, but even when you take uncomfortable and imperfect action, that action is still going to help create clarity, because you're going to learn what's working and what's not. And when you find the thing that's working, now you can do more of what works and less of what's not, so that you can really amplify and launch your audience growth. All right, my friends, hope that was helpful. Make sure you share this with another entrepreneur that you know, that you can give them more help in growing their audience. And be sure to check out our other episodes as well. All right, we'll talk again real soon.